I'm going to bring this back to how you think about success in investing. And I hate that word, so I'll parse it out a little bit. But I want to read something from a blog post that you wrote, or an article. I'm not sure which you prefer. This is on the Collaborative Fund website, internal versus external benchmarks. And let me just read these two paragraphs. All right. The most important point may be this: internal benchmarks are only possible when you have some degree of independence. The only way to consistently do what you want, when you want, with whom you want, for as long as you want, is to detach from other people's benchmarks and judge everything simply by whether you're happy and fulfilled. Okay, I want to bold that in your mind. Judge everything simply by whether you're happy and fulfilled, which varies person to person. This next paragraph I circled because I just thought it was really worth reading over and over again. I recently had dinner with a financial advisor who had a client that gets angry when hearing about portfolio returns or benchmarks. None of that matters to the client. All he cares about is whether he has enough money to keep traveling with his wife. That's his sole benchmark. Quote, everyone else can stress out about outperforming each other, he says. Quote, I just like Europe, end quote. Maybe he's got it all figured out. So I just love that because it's like it's highly subjective, meaning it's personal, but it's also very objective. It's an absolute measure. And it's an example of, unless he gets a lot of lifestyle bloat and wants to have a yacht in the Mediterranean or something, it is a goalpost that won't move. All right. So you talk about the importance of the goalposts not moving. In my experience with people who have gone from very, very moderate circumstances, not having much money growing up, to being very, very successful, offhand, I'm sure there are some examples, but 99% of the people who come to mind who are smart, I think good people who are very much students of life, the goalposts have always moved.
Yep.
And so I want to know what you've seen work or not work in that specific domain and how you think about it for yourself.
I think it's the single most important topic in money, in investing, in finance, and it's the hardest thing to actually make work. Those are both true statements. It's the same for me. I can write about this and say what people should do, but it's the same for my wife and I. Like, we struggle with this as much as anyone else about getting the goalposts to stop moving. I think if there is one thing that has helped me, and I would say helped, not fixed, just like helped a little bit around the edges, is something that we talked about earlier, which is that just the idea, the observation that no one is thinking about you as much as you are. And therefore, so much of people's willingness and their desire to spend more is just a social signal to show people how much money you have, whether that's the bigger house, the nicer car, like whatever it is. Like you just want to show other people. And once you realize that people aren't thinking about you that much, they don't care about you that much, they're thinking about themselves and how much people care about them. Once you realize that, then you're like, okay, I can see what the game is. It's a game that I can't win, so I'm not even going to try to play it. I just want to focus on the internal of like, what's going to make me happy? What do I want? What's actually going to give me pleasure? And let's just do that. And I don't want to think about anyone else. So much of this is just selfish.
What's the happy and whatever the other thing I bolded, which I promptly forgot. But what are those things for you?
I want to wake up every morning and hang out with my kids, and I want them to be happy. And I want to do it on my own schedule. If it's a Wednesday morning and I don't want to work, then I'm going to sit on the couch all day and watch Netflix. And if it's a Sunday and I got a good idea, I'm going to spend all day working. It's all my own schedule, on my own time, whatever I want to do. It's that independence and autonomy.
Can you not do that right now?
Yeah, I can. There was a point when I couldn't. And that's why I feel like I'm pretty happy. And I feel like I've done a decent job of doing that. Now, I do have, as a lot of people would, a tendency to be like, oh, what if I got that Porsche? What if we got the bigger house? What if we did this? What if we did that? And it's fun to think that because I love nice cars. I love all of that. It's just so easy to realize. There's a great quote that I love. That's the grass is always greener on the side that's fertilized with bullshit. I think that's really what it is. That's the accurate phrasing of that well-known quote. And I think that's really what it is. Like the idea that all that nicer stuff is going to make you necessarily happier, I think is just so easy to disprove, especially once you've experienced a little bit of it yourself. And that actually what is going to make people happy is that independence and autonomy. That once I remind myself of that, I'm like, okay. And then the game of earning more just becomes a game. It's less about like, oh, if I have more money, I'm going to be happier. No, if my net worth is 10x what it is today, I'm not going to be any happier. That was not true at one point in my life, but I think it's true today. It's probably true for you right now. It's true for a lot of people listening. And therefore, you can admit that a game is fun and a game is fun to play, but just admit that it's a game and it's actually not going to make you happier.